Yes, of course. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, this is the Indoor Africa Cup here at the Dome in Swakopmund, Namibia versus Zimbabwe. This is the men's hockey. And of course, the purpose or the aim of this tournament is to have African qualifiers for the Indoor Hockey World Cup that is scheduled to take place in 2025 in Croatia, and only the top two men's and women's teams will earn a spot in this global event. The primary aim is for all teams to reach the final stage and secure the place in next year's World Cup. And of course, there is, of course, Namibia. You have Strauss David in the goalkeeper, and he's also the captain. And then we have Kambida Robin, who is also the goalkeeper. And then we have Hermanes Liam Brett David there. And then we have Hansen Fagan and Brett John Paul and Van der Merwe Cody. We also have Nietling there and Hansen Dakota. We have Jacob Peter and Hatton Owen and Click Brian. That is, of course, your team for Namibia.
For the Zimbabweans, it's Mike Gumbura, who is a leader amongst men. Tino Muzamwese is their gift. Chimonwara, Forbes Tindwa, of course, Konstantin Muncho, Tari Kamusewu, Tendai Maredza, the legend of Zimbabwean hockey, Kevin January, Kudzanai Tembo, the captain, what a man he is, and of course in goals, Kudzai Chimbedete are the men who are tasked with stopping the Namibian machine here at the Dome in Swakopmund. Of course, as we've said, 2 spots available for Africa. The Asian Cup, also underway currently, has 2 spots up for grabs. 4 have come through from Europe: Austria, Belgium, Germany and Poland. The hosts are Croatia. Argentina and Trinidad and Tobago have qualified, and 2 more teams will add their names here in Swakopmund by the end of the weekend. It is a game that promises excitement. It promises flair. Namibia, the favourites. Zimbabwe, the underdogs. Of course, these two have met many times before, playing a number of games against one another, including in the qualifiers in this venue 5 years ago. They also met in Harare in a great series. And it is Namibia who have the upper hand, winning all 7 meetings, although they've been close. 4-1, 3-2, 6-4, 6-2, 8-4, 8-3. It's been close in the 7 meetings, but it's always Namibia who have ended up on top.
Of course.
Namibia, Enzo. Namibia will start with David Strauss, DJ Strauss in goals. Of course, Zimbabwe only have 10, so they don't have the same depth, but their captain, Kudzanai Tembo, an important wheel in the cog, or cog in the wheel, or oil in the machine. Just have a small delay while we just check something going on. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Taryn, of course, it is a pleasure to have you here tonight to just, of course, engage with our viewers and give them this electric event, of course, on their screens at their homes. And for those that are joining, of course, my name is Enzo Amwele, and this is, of course, brought to you on 1Up2 and with efforts of Sport Rep Team and Network Television.
Yeah, absolutely. The game of hockey, great. I was here in 2017. We played on a different surface, the inline surface to my right now, behind where the Namibians are defending. And yeah, it's great to be here 7 years later and to see what a beautiful place Swakopmund is. Got an opportunity this morning to go out onto the dunes, and a really incredible experience. I do encourage anyone, if you have the opportunity, to come through. It's quite an interesting thing when you fly into Walvis Bay and you just see all the sand, and then there's that little strip of runway, and you think, is the plane really going to find it?
Of course, Taryn, and of course that is the land of the brave. Beautiful country, absolutely beautiful when it comes to those nice sights and views of the dunes. Of course, you find those only in Namibia, and they say that on Twitter, they say that only in Namibia where you find the desert, and that meets the ocean. And of course, it is Namibia. This is a country where we have a population, very, very less population. There we go. The game has started, officially kicked off, and it is Namibia versus Zimbabwe. Man, this is the Indo-Africa Cup. These teams are competing for the World Cup in Croatia. That is in February 2025.
Of course, a victory in this game puts you in a great position for a spot in the final. South Africa, of course, getting a 5-0 result against Botswana, who have not arrived yet. Nico Neethling trying to make his mark early on. An exciting player he is for the Namibians, played at the World Cup. Of course, Namibia have a great blend of youth and experience. And Robin Kaminda, DJ Strauss, Bryn Cleek, they've got the experience. And then, of course, on the other end of the spectrum, Fagan Hansen, JP Brits, experienced campaigners, but still young adults.
Yes, of course, Tyron, and Zimbabwe is still composing themselves in this game. It is, of course, 9 minutes into the game, and Namibia, there you have Hermanus Liam trying to get the ball, and of course you have Hatton Owen on the side there. There is Hermanus Liam takes the ball out and then gives Zimbabwe a chance to start the game. 4
debutants today for Zimbabwe: Mike Gumbura, Tino Muzamwese, of course, Tadi Kamosewu, and Kevin January. The 4 debutants, all for Zimbabwe, playing their first game of international hockey for their country. A very special moment. On the other side, no debutants for Namibia, but DJ Strauss playing game number 62, the most capped man in African hockey.
Absolutely spectacular, Tyron. I would say congratulations to those players that are, of course, playing for their first time international hockey. And that is it is a start of your career practically, because then you get a chance to be scouted by international clubs and being on the international scene of hockey.
Yeah, look, it's a wonderful journey. It just, any young player, any young person playing sport dreams about getting to the top of the pile, representing their team, representing their country, putting their hand on the chest with the national anthem, whichever national anthem it is. This should be a chance for Zimbabwe. Any player dreams of being there, and the fact is they have got there. You are now on the top, but it's not about just getting to the top, it's staying there and dominating on top.
Definitely, Tyron. Of course, you need to be at the top of your game. You just do not want to win this one. You need to maintain your status of being a champion. And of course, Namibia right there with passing the ball to Hatton, back to Jacobs. Jacobs passed the ball, and then we have the right there on the line.
And Nico Neethling up the right-hand side. John Shat. So it came across with a shot from Owen Hatton. Owen wins the ball back here. He goes back to Bryn Cleek. Bryn the Brilliant. Goes to Ernie Jacobs. One of the team captains, one of the leaders. Of course, the captain is DJ Strauss, but they rotate that a bit and share responsibility. Bryn Liam. Chance, and that's a good save. Hits away from players, and it will be a free hit just outside the circle. First chance, first real look at goal. Maybe unable to take it this time. The question was asked, and it was well answered on this occasion from Chimbatete.
No, definitely agree with you, Tyron. Of course, Namibia did have a chance right there. They did want to put that behind the net, but of course, Zimbabwe's tempo and pardon me, Zimbabwe's Chimbatete, of course, kept it out. And of course, Namibia gets a free penalty kick right there from Neethling Nico. Namibians are ready to strike. Of course, right now, Chimbatete needs to focus, and he needs to ensure that this one doesn't go behind the net. And we have Nico taking that corner right there.
Comes in, it's JP Brits, it's Fagan Hansen, and it is a goal. Touch, save, pass, as we see the cheering crowd. It's a fantastic crowd here, and they've been giving value for money early on. It's taken 4.5 minutes, but Namibia have struck.
Indeed, indeed, that is the moment that we all have been waiting for, and Namibia has struck their first goal, and they need to keep it coming. When you come to these kind of competitions, your first goals, you need to secure them so you calm down and do away with the nerves. So you play a cool and calm game. Of course, that was a goal from Namibia in literally 5 minutes into the first quarter of this game. Namibia goes again. There is Hansen. Hansen strikes, and it's a goal!
No goal this time.
No goal.
The ball was just touched outside the circle. It will be a free hit outside. The crowd wasn't sure there, but it is no goal this time. But I'll tell you what, it was very close. So this could be a goal. No. The deflection from Fagan Hansen just wide. Tell you what, JP Brits and Fagan Hansen are definitely reading the same novel right now because they were on the same page there.
Of course, Tyron. I do agree with you. And of course, there was two chances that the Namibians had there. And unfortunately, there were no goals. And I'm sure they will create more chances. Tyron, you mentioned in the beginning that these two teams have met here on your right. And they have played before. How do you make of their play?
Yeah, I'll talk about that now. It's obviously a penalty corner there for an intentional breakdown of play, ruled against Dakota Hansen. And our umpire all the way from the Netherlands is the man who makes that call on this occasion. And that is Mark Becoles from Netherlands. Yeah, I think, Zimbabwe don't play enough international indoor hockey, so the game experience, the real match experience lacks sometimes, but Namibia have played a lot over the past year. They played at the World Cup. They made the quarterfinals. There was an early break there. Umpire says it's okay. Advantage played and cleared on the line. Beats the keeper, but the postman shows why it's so important to have a postman there.
Yes, definitely, Tyron. That is indeed a missed opportunity right there, and it was a chance for Zimbabwe to, of course, come back to the playground and at least have it on one-on-one. There Zimbabwe goes.
That is really, really good reading of play by JP Brits. He just waited for the pass and then dived into to clear it, and it remains here 1-0. Well, Zimbabwe will have their chances. We know they will have their chances. But are they going to be clinical enough in taking them? Because we know Namibia will be. There's so much talent in the squad. I'll tell you what, how about this for tomorrow, the Humdinger South Africa-Namibia doubleheader. If you are around Swakopmund, you need to get to the MTC Dome for an exhibition of African hockey. There is some exhibition. Fagan Hansen pulls the ball back, finds the foot, and it is a penalty corner to Namibia.
Definitely, Tyron, I need to, of course, to agree with you right there. If you are in Swakopmund, make your way to the MTC Dome here to see the exhibition of these teams. This is, of course, a pool of players that are talented, and, of course, they are here to show their hunger and make their way to Croatia for the Indoor World Cup in 2025. Namibia gets a chance.
Oh, that is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant defense. He's caught it on the line. They asked the question, was it not the body? But Gift Chomanwara does a wonderful display of hockey there to keep it out, lift it over the goals. And I tell you what, it remains 1-0 on a piece of defensive brilliance.
Yes, definitely, Tyron. And of course, the question of the day is Zimbabwe able to come back to this one? Are they willing to come back to the party and show Namibia what they are made of? And as you can see, Namibia keeps showing the skills right there. And the ball is in the center.
Chance here. Oh, that's kept off the line. It's come back. That'll be a penalty corner. It's hit the foot of Timbo. But that is absolutely brilliant work by Chimbatete once again to keep it out. It remains 1-0. Will we see more of the same? Well, no, Namibia coming across the other side now. And this means it's probably Ernie Jacobs, number 13, who's going to line up and try and put some power into this. Brent Cleek at the top of the castle. He will stop it. Owen Hudson is there for the slip. It comes to, well, they try the slip.
Oh.
Chimbatete, this house has not been opened for a birthday party. You're not coming in.
Absolutely beautiful from Chimbetete. Of course, he has been showing off his goalkeeping skills, ensuring that Namibia does not go any further with goal scoring. And of course, Chimbetete is in the goal for Zimbabwe. Namibia keeps coming. That was almost a beautiful connection there from the Namibian players. Zimbabwe is defending. There we go. Absolutely beautiful from Maredza. Maredza is, of course, a well-experienced player there for hockey. As you just mentioned, Tyron, Zimbabwe does not play often, indoor hockey. But I think they have brought some competition to Namibia.
Tena Maredza, 34 years of age, 33 years of age. This will be a penalty corner. As I said, a foot, it's also been lifted into the stands there. But Maredza, of course, a former African All-Star, played for the World All-Stars in the Greenfield Series. He played alongside the likes of Timo Vess and Benny Vess and Robert Tiggs and all of those superstars. He is a superstar and has Reds Hockey Academy in Zimbabwe. Great to see him here, of course. Coached the Junior World Cup under-21 side for the Ato, the women's team. Yeah, he's got work to do. This time the slip is much, much better. But Owen Hudson catching it in the hook and firing it wide. And, well, Namibia are huffing and puffing here a little bit, struggling to find the goal. And it remains 1-0. Chimbetete having a chat with Aiden Shrives, of course, one of Africa's officials at the World Cup. Did a great job there. It will just be a free hit, but they play on. Here's a chance for Zimbabwe! And Ernie Jacobs shows his experience to cancel it.
Of course, of course. As you can see, Zimbabwe is really coming to the party. They are really trying their best to level up before the first leg of this game comes to an end. Of course, Namibia leading with Zimbabwe being on 0. And of course, they are trying to level up with this game. There is Namibia going to the front. Of course, that is Click Green. And we have Jacobs Peter there making the pass to the front.
Yeah, it's not quite clicking for Namibia just yet. They're trying to force it a little bit. Haven't quite got into second or third gear yet. Still playing a little bit reserved. But these early exchanges, Zimbabwe have been up for it. We heard them singing and dancing when they came in, bringing the true African style to an Indo-African Cup. And it really was a wonderful sound. That will be another penalty corner as it's lifted. It really did create such a powerful sound coming in to this brilliant MTC Dome with the singing and almost the Guijo squad arriving.
Of course, Haran, and of course it is Zimbabwe. They definitely came here to ensure that they secure a spot for next year's Indoor World Cup in Croatia 2025. But unfortunately here they are still behind Namibia, and Namibia keeps creating those opportunities to get another goal.
Oh, it's off the post. Of course, you play on as the ball is still in the circle. It was bobbling, and that is a free hit. That is the end of the first quarter.
Sit down, relax, stay with us as we come back for more. We quickly go for a commercial break.
Today we are going to learn how to bake.
Welcome, everyone.
Things may not always go as planned, but our technology doesn't fail. Join Paratus today. Paratus, always prepared.
This is what it has come to, the moment that defines a season. It's the finale, and I want it all. I want Pep and Crop racing for the top, and Osimhen masking up. I want the biggest stars shining on Champions League nights. I want the passion of City.
At the MTC Dome, just started. You missed about 3 seconds there. Umpires got a bit excited after a delayed start, and early doors it was a solid but not spectacular first quarter for Namibia. Zimbabwe able to suffocate and frustrate, and Well, Namibia only one from all of those penalty corners. Here's a chance. Chimbatete says, this is my match, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here.
Of course, that was a nice try from Gift. As they keep trying to get through to Namibia's goalkeeper. And the Namibians are there defending for their life. And of course, Chimbatete, of course, he stood, or rather stands out for me, because Chimbatete keeps on defending those goals from getting behind the net. That was very, very close for the Namibians right there. You could see that if it had touched the stick, I'm sure Chimbatete would not have seen that one. The ball is back with the Zimbabweans, and they are eager. You can see they are running with the pace. They are running with purpose and attacking the Namibians. Intercept. Brilliant interception. Wow.
Well, you know, Chimbatete has made a lot of good saves already. That one was an accidental save. He didn't know where the ball was. It hit the back of his foot. It stayed out. But sometimes when you're that good, you get lucky as well.
Of course. That was indeed a lucky save. And of course, it is a penalty kick right there from Hansen Dakota, who will take this one. Let's see what comes from this opportunity. There we go. Dakota takes it. Brilliant goal! Absolutely brilliant from JP Brett. That was a serious, deadly combination. And of course, Chimbatete did not see that one coming at all.
Yeah, at last the goal has come. I think it was Cody van der Merwe who put it away after... Well, they've been a bit wasteful from penalty corners. They scored their first, but they'd missed the last 4. And they now make it 2 out of 6. And, well, 2-0, probably the right score based on possession. Zimbabwe will continue to search. They will continue to ask questions. And they will continue to try and find that goal and build a little bit of hope.
Of course, Zimbabwe still has that energy in them. They still have the hope to indeed score another goal and come back to the party. The question of the day is, will Zimbabwe be able to come to the party? Will they be able to get behind Namibia's, Kambida right there?
Yeah, wrong decision there to put the ball back. Should have kept going forward. Fagan Hansen caught out there by a really strong physical tackle. Tell you what, Zimbabwe are not hiding away from the physical battle. And this will be a warning, not a card. Thought we were going to see our first card of the night there, but not yet.
Of course, Namibia starts to play, and we are in the second leg of this game right here, with Namibia still attacking. And
well, this is going to be given as a penalty corner as well. The ball had died. Player Dudley Mamanis was saying advantage ump. Tembo just asking why. Of course, they killed the ball and they didn't use it, so penalty corner is awarded in that occasion.
Yes, of course. And then we have Hansen Dakota taking that corner right there.
Of course, Austria, Belgium, Germany, Poland, Argentina, Trinidad and Tobago, and Croatia have secured their spots in the World Cup. 2 more here, and then, of course, in Kazakhstan, another 2. And that's another good save from Chimbatete. He's having an incredible game.
Definitely spectacular performance from Chimbatete. I think Chimbatete here, of course, deserves, to go back to Zimbabwe with a smile, because he saved them so much trouble from the Namibians. They keep attacking. They keep creating the chances. Whoa! Absolutely spectacular. It is another goal from Namibia. Namibia 3, Zimbabwe 0. Darren, what do you say?
Brilliant interchange there, and Cody van der Merwe getting on the end and firing it low, hard past Chimbatete. But that goal was all about the pass and move in the build-up. Fagan Hansen tuning to Provider on that occasion. Spring Creek now looks to put the pressure in. That will just feel a little bit more comfortable now for Namibia. 3-0 up. And they will hope to now take this game into the distance, away from a nuggety performance so far from the Zimbabweans.
Of course, Namibia keeps coming to the playground here. They are leading with 3 goals, and again they keep creating those chances. And Chimbetete, as much as he's trying to keep the ball out of the goal, the Namibians, they just keep finding their way, and it's another chance.
And that ball was already over the baseline, so it is a long corner.
Namibia starts with the ball right there. Keeping the ball between Jacobs, and there we go! Beautiful, absolutely beautiful goal right there.
Yeah, that was made by Liam Amanis and finished off by Owen Hatton, doing really well to dive onto that ball and get it off of his stick before the body touched the floor, the 3 points, and he loses the opportunity for a goal. So really good stuff. Owen Hudson doesn't score a lot of goals in his 10 games so far. He's got 5. Well, now he's added a 6th.
Yes, Tyron, I'm definitely sure that the Namibian coach, Cormac Trevor, is sitting with a smile saying, yes, that is my team. That is the team Namibia showcasing their talent, their experience on the indoor hockey right here at the Dome in Swakopmund. And for those of you that are joining us, this is brought to you on 1UP2. And of course, you can always watch the stream anytime, any day online.
Namibia really just showing some quality in this quarter to stretch the game, to take it away. Liam Amanis, more of a peripheral figure so far in this game. Hasn't really been his influential best just yet. Ernie Jacobs firing it across. Brinkley looking for that little sneaky finesse touch, but not able to find it on that occasion. I'll tell you what, they've definitely played. You can feel it in this quarter. The game is happening much, much more in the half of the Zimbabweans. Ernie Jacobs! Oh! Well, there is Liam Amanis. That's his 46th goal for Namibia. Ernie Jacobs, that goal belongs to you, but you just don't get the credit for it.
Of course. And again, Chimbetete is in trouble from the Namibian players right there. That was Hermanus Liam with a beautiful goal right there. And it is Namibia 5, Zimbabwe 0. We are 3 minutes into the second leg of this game. Darren, what do you make of this game? Like, who are the players that you think, deserve player of the match of this game right now?
Yeah, look, I mean, we're early in the game. Chimbettete's had a fantastic game for Zimbabwe. I think Tembo's been solid. They just seem to be running out of legs a little bit. They could do with a good halftime break. And as they tire, you just start to see the likes of Fagan Hansen, Owen Hutton, Cody van der Merwe all just become more and more dominant in this game. It's now 5-0. Let's see if they can convert this penalty corner. Dakota Hansen fires it out. I mean, that is world class from JP Britt. He's picked it up, and in the stop, he fires it home as we see Bryn Cleek's parents, along with the other Namibian parents there in the crowd. 6-0, and this has been, this is where the lack of international action for Zimbabwe is telling, because it's just that maturity to see out the 2-3 minutes when the opposition is on top, instead of going and conceding and forcing and accelerating the game. You need to almost take your foot off the pedal, take as long as possible to get the ball back into play, almost fake an injury, so to speak, to just break up the momentum of the opposition.
Of course. And when we go for a break, I think Zimbabwe will come back with a new strategy to approach the Namibian side here, which is, of course, dominating the game in terms of their passing, and they are definitely positioning themselves in such a way that they are scoring and creating opportunities for another goal. Almost a goal. Almost. Namibia is here to make a name, to make a mark. They are fighting for a spot to go to Croatia. And this is, of course, for the Indoor Hockey World Cup in 2025. As you can see, then Namibia keeps on creating those chances and opportunities. As Tyron said, the Zimbabweans need to take some medication, because this is getting too much for them to handle now. Of course, Namibia is back again in
we're heading towards our halftime break. That's from outside. So despite the excitement of the crowd, it won't be a goal. We're in the final minutes of this chukka, and it has been a chukka that has been dominated by the Namibians. There's a chance though for Zimbabwe, and they get the goal. They break the stranglehold, and well, Sarah Evans saying, "What about the stroke there?" But there's an advantage. The goal is scored. Zimbabwe get on the score sheet, and it's probably something that they'll be cheering on quite nicely in Harare. It is 6-1 now.
Yes, definitely Zimbabwe comes to the playground, and they are here scoring their first goal for the game. This is, of course, the second quarter. As it comes to the end, Zimbabwe comes to the playground, and I think this will give them some sort of confidence and momentum when they come back for the third round, of course.
Forbes Tindwa getting the goal, and that is the last action to the halftime break. We'll be back with you in a bit. It's Namibia 6, Zimbabwe 1.
Meet Christine, a snacker with a craving for treats, but a budget to stick to. Fortunately, the Synergy chatbot has her covered. With just a few taps, Christine can find the latest specials and snacks, satisfying her cravings without breaking the bank. And then there's Brian, who's out on a date with the most beautiful girl in winter. But even romance can't distract Brian from his love for sports updates. Luckily, the Synergy chatbot keeps him in the loop so he can stay connected while enjoying his evening. Finally, there's Henriette, who loves to stay informed with the latest news. Unlike the other boomers, Henriette knows that she can conveniently access daily newspapers via the Synergy chatbot. Whether it's snacks, sports, or news, the Synergy chatbot has something for everyone.
This is what it has come to, the moment that defines a season. It's the finale, and I want it all. I want pep and crop racing for the top, and Osimhen masking up. I want the biggest stars shining on Champions League nights. I want the passion of Serie A. I want La Liga. I want the Premier League. I want the football finals. I want it all. Reconnect to catch every match live on DSTV.
Irangomed is a leading distributor, working in partnership with NewMed and WestMed to meet the comprehensive needs of the Namibian healthcare sector. As a partner pursuing sustainable global healthcare, we offer industry-leading medical solutions through our key focus areas, which include pharmaceuticals, orthopedics, ophthalmology, surgical devices and capital equipment, as well as a well-established scientific laboratory division. In healthcare, Irangomed is committed to making a difference. What about you?
Yes, welcome back, and of course this is the second half where we will be having Namibia versus Zimbabwe, and of course Namibia dominating one of these ones. Zimbabwe scored their first goal in the last minutes of the second quarter. We will of course kick off the third quarter right now, and of course Namibia came to the playground and showcasing that they are in their homeland. They of course sent out the message to Zimbabwe that we give you the ocean, we give you the sea, we give you the dunes, but of course no, we cannot let you win.
Yeah, not only will we give you all the tourist attractions, we'll give you some brilliant goals to remember. Of course, Namibia getting 6 goals. The goal scorers were Fagan Hansen, Liam Amanis, JP Brits with Crockett, Owen Hutton, and a double for Cody van der Merwe. But the last laugh in the first half belonged to Forbes Tindwa as he got Zimbabwe's goal. Tendai Maredza talking to his team saying, let's go boys, let's show some Zimbabwean pride, let's show some Zimbabwean flair, and let's bring our Gwijo onto the park as the men from Mashonaland, from Bulawayo, from Harare, from Kariba, and wherever else they are in Zimbabwe are looking to bring some pride to the game. Their captain, Kudzanai Tembo, leading from the front. I actually have a shirt at home from Kudzanai, a Zimbabwe shirt I got from him in Harare. It's framed in my office. Such a great character of the game.
Brilliant, brilliant. Of course, you are privileged to be in such a position to have a shirt from Kudzanai. Now the game will start off, and this is the third leg of Namibia versus Zimbabwe. There we go.
Yeah, brilliant from Maredza there, because although some would say he could have left that ball there, there was definitely danger in the back. Oh, Zimbabwe almost inviting a little bit of danger there into their own circle, but doing well on that occasion with Shona on the ball, looking for an escape. Namibia must give an escape. Of course, remember in the game of indoor hockey, you have to give an outlet. And if it's called by the umpire and you don't use it, well, then you're going to lose it. And they gave the outlet there. And just for those viewers who have maybe not as a fay, of course, if the out is across the baseline, then the attacker may not go and close the out ball. He has to let it go across.
Of course, Tyron, and that is one thing I appreciate about you. You know these hockey games in and out. I think you might as well just become an umpire.
No, I don't think they're popular enough sometimes. But two really quality umpires. That is a world-class touch, a world-class save. Really, Chibatete opening up superb.
Yes, of course, Chibatete has been a phenomenal character in this game, or rather, phenomenal player. You could see that he's saving the team from so many trouble. Brilliant saves, absolutely world-class tactics from him as the Zimbabweans try and attack and go forward. Of course, there we go with Tendai Maredza. Namibia is on the attack. Namibia is attacking, and then we have Liam Hermanas, and he gives the ball back, and Namibia keeping the ball composed. It's a chance, creating a chance. Namibia keeps the ball composed, and it is a corner kick right there from the Namibians. We, of course, have Netling Nico taking that one. We have Click Brian there. We have Hermanas Liam. They are waiting, hungry for this ball. They are here waiting for the ball to get to them. Yes,
last tap in there.
Chimbetete makes another save. Of course, I told you, Tyron, Chimbetete, very, very talented player, goalkeeper. He keeps saving the balls. Woo! That was very, very close. Very, very close to get inside right there behind. And then we have Zimbabwe starting with the play right there. We are 7 minutes into the game. This is the third leg of the Indo Africa Cup here at the Dome in Swakopmund. Namibia 6, Zimbabwe 1.
Yeah, again, Zimbabwe have come out after the break a little bit more fired up. Can they keep that fitness and focus for a little bit longer in the second half? In the first half, it was 10 minutes or maybe 12, but here's a chance. Chibatete, I think that's come off his foot. No, umpire rules it wasn't saved. It was just off target. I'll tell you what, I like the intensity that Zimbabwe play with, but what Tendai Maredza is doing now is the right thing. Slow things down a little. You know, they only have the 4 subs, not 6 like other teams. And you need to just manage the periods of the game where the opposition are on top, like right now. And Maredza is mature enough to do that. He's a good coach. He understands the game so well. And this is going to be a card. There's a little slip here from Tembo, but it knocks the player down, and there will be a card. And Tembo goes and has a seat. He'll have a short break from the action.
Of course, Namibia needs to remain focused and hungry and disciplined for this one. Yes, they keep trying to make those opportunities come to life. That was a brilliant skill right there from Zimbabwe's Tandi Wanashe. Namibia, of course, blocks the ball, and they keep going to the front.
Just to confirm, it was a yellow card for Kudzanai Tembo. Dangerous play. And although not intentional, still dangerous and created a unsafe situation for his opponent. Shot there is safe. So Zimbabwe without a fifth player, without a skipper for the next 2 minutes at least. I didn't get to see if umpire Shah signaled anything longer than that.
Of course, Tyron, that gets to put Team Zimbabwe in a very dangerous position, because then they are one man short, and of course that means Namibia can counter attack and use this opportunity to increase on their goals.
Absolutely, but what you're seeing right now is some stellar defensive work from Zimbabwe, getting there, putting their stick on the line, and that ball crossed the baseline. So it is a free hit for Zimbabwe. Once again, Tena Maredza will just utilize this opportunity, bring the ball back, ask the umpire, is this the right place, and then build again. Oh, looks to fire through the middle, but Chomonoro wasn't watching, and they get away with that one. Maredza apologizing on this occasion. It's now Mushono who will have the ball, and again, just says to the umpire, can I take a chair? They've done really well at eating away the time of this yellow card. Maredza fires it through, it lifts, but advantage is played. Play it up the line, they win the ball again, but it hits a foot. Namibia play it, the ball was still rolling. Taken from the wrong place actually, because the call was for the first foul. Dakota Hansen fires it inside, but it hasn't gone three. And a little bit of ill discipline, not from a naughtiness point of view, but just unforced errors here from the Namibians. Tena Maredza dictating the pace of the game right now. Yes. They just give the ball away a bit too cheaply. And of course, the yellow card has expired. So Zimbabwe are back up to a full complement. 6 players back on the park.
Of course, it is a chance now for Zimbabwe to, of course, come back. And as they had a player that was just resting from that yellow card, I think it's a great opportunity. That was brilliant from Tendai. Absolutely beautiful hockey, world class, world technique. You can see that these players are.
Oh, there's a free here. There is a card on this occasion. It is JP Brits, and it was for the pullback on Maredza. Just waiting to confirm the color of the card. I think it would be a green, and that is confirmed, a green card for JP Brits. Just a little pullback on Maredza as he was breaking through there. And of course the umpires played advantage. That's why there wasn't a free hit. Ball was fired in, and here's a chance, and that is a wonderful, wonderful intervention on the defense on this occasion. Once again, by Mushono, really making his name count.
Of course, Namibia needs to be careful right now, because they are a man down from the pitch, and they need to ensure that they keep their defense tight, as the Zimbabweans are hungry and they might come for another goal. Namibia needs to now increase on their technique of defending. Oh!
Well, that was the Hansen brothers at their best. A little bit of action there, as it was Dakota feeding Fagan, who finishes it in. Of course, Fagan Hansen, 51 career goals already. He's just 21 years of age and already has 51 international goals. And of course, Namibia do that, score their first goal of the quarter at a time where they are players short. And the green card does expire, and they're back to their full complement.
Absolutely beautiful there from Namibia. And you can see that Namibia has the connections. They find the way to block the ball. They find the way to pass and make these connections work each and every time. Namibia is at the front of this game.
Yeah, I think, to me, credit goes to Namibia, because when Zimbabwe are on top, they just ride out that period of play. They wait it out. They make sure of it. When Namibia are on top, they punish. And that's the big difference between the two teams so far.
Yeah, no, definitely, Tyron. You can see that Zimbabwe is really, really trying to force the play. They are trying to get to the front. Namibia again. Oh! That was close. That was close from Netling. Zimbabwe still has a chance, I think. I believe Zimbabwe still has a chance to come back to this one. It's, of course, they are 6 goals behind from Namibia. Namibia being in their home ground, they said, no, we will not let you win. We will not let you come to our coastal town. We cannot give you the dunes and the accommodation and everything else that's so beautiful of Namibia, and then you win. No ways. And of course, we have Nettling there.
Good umpire advantage there. Nobody around, no influence on the play. This is well kept in by Brinkleek. Again, giving the out back so they can't intercept that. Comes across Nico Nettling, heavy touch, and it goes out the back.
Of course, Tindo Forbes says, no ways you're going to get to my goalkeeper this time around. Chimbetete waiting anxiously to save that ball. And Zimbabwe passing the ball, and there we go. Namibia in the center.
Oh, there was a great chance there. Wrong pass was chosen, and it's picked out. I'll be happy that they've broken up play there, but opportunity was definitely missed.
That is, of course, click. And there we go. We have come to the end of the third quarter. That is Namibia 7, Zimbabwe 1. We quickly go for a commercial break. We'll be right back. Sit, relax. We will come back with more action.
Life's uncertainties can't be predicted, but giving your loved ones peace of mind can.
Just one call and Met Funerals affordable cover is yours, starting at just 85 Namibian dollars per month, covering your immediate family and even extending to parents, parents-in-law, and up to 9 other relatives.
Crafted to suit your needs, choosing from accidental death, tombstone benefits, livestock, grocery, and even a flower benefit.
Need more? How about our repatriation, commuter, or hospital benefits? Plus, a $200 airtime value-added benefit absolutely free.
Ensure your family's future with Met Funeral. SMS Met Funeral to 77112, because every moment matters.
Yes, we are back for the fourth quarter of this one. It is, of course, Namibia versus Zimbabwe. This is the Indo-Africa Cup here at the Dome in Swakopmund.
It's been a very professional performance from the World Cup quarterfinalists, the hosts. Namibia, of course, the first ever Namibian sporting code to make a World Cup quarterfinal. And that is brilliant play. That is scintillating. That's 6. That's almost too dirty for viewing. PG-16 is advised. What a goal there from David Brits. My word. You can't make this up.
Definitely not. I think those kinds of combination and goals, you need to put them on Twitter. You need to frame them. These kinds of shots need to be on Instagram. These are the shots, of course, that are inspirational to the ones that are watching. And Namibia keeps coming to the playground. Here it is, of course, Namibia, the host country, with Zimbabwe. And Zimbabwe 7 goals behind Namibia. Namibia is saying, no ways. We will show you how it's done in the land of the brave. As much as Zimbabwe keeps fighting, Namibia is fighting back.
Yeah, look, Zimbabwe will never, ever stop fighting. Namibia will never stop fighting. And it'll always be an enthralling game. And unfortunately, that one will go against Zimbabwe as Kamosewu just ran past the ball and into the stick of the defender. The opportunities, they've just not taken the half chances they've created. And that is how you take a chance brilliantly. It's come across, and Dakota Hansen in the middle gets the chance to finish off his first. And once again, Zimbabwe put all the effort into the last quarter and just looked to have run out of steam a little bit here.
Darren, it is goal after goal. Namibia is indeed showing their hunger to go and participate in the indoor hockey in Croatia next year. And of course, with that said, we need to thank, of course, the partners, the sponsors that make these kinds of events possible. You see Food Lovers Market there behind you. You see, of course, MTC and Deb Marine, Build It, you name it. Of course, we need to say thank you. Thank you to the sponsors for making this one possible. These are a pool of young players. These are players who are starting their careers for international games, and of course, these kinds of investments are, I think, one of the investments to look out for.
Yeah, listen, it's been fantastic so far. To get the action, obviously, hoping that Botswana gets you and we can have a full day of action tomorrow here at the Dome. Again, Zimbabwe have showed you moments in this game. Forbes Tindwa getting the goal. They've had chances. Tindwa Maritza at the back. It's been put under pressure here. He decides to not take it on. Let it go out for a long corner. They've had their moments, but just lacking that experience, that guile to control and kill the game in the moments where you don't have the momentum. The Namibians are really good at capitalizing when they do have the momentum. That being said, Fagan Hansen unable to capitalize that time. He's got 2 goals to his name so far. It's been goals for Liam Amanis, David Brits, JP Brits, Cody van der Merwe, Dakota Hansen and Owen Hutton all over the park. There's danger everywhere. Cody van der Merwe, though, has a free hit blown against. Well, it's not him. It's from the build-up a little bit higher up.
Of course.
We go again. Umpires say that lifted but didn't in fact play. Brent Creek and wins a penalty corner as the play is pulled, as the stick was pulled back in the breakdown of play. Penalty corner awarded.
Of course, Taron, I need to agree with you right there. And the Namibians are there caucusing to, of course, come up with a plan on how they can score their 10th goal for this one. I won't lie, Taron, in the beginning, I did have some sort of belief in the Zimbabweans. Chimbetete gave me some hope to say that they are putting up a fight for the Namibians, but it turned out to be the other way around. Wow.
And there it is, 10 out of 10 for the Namibians, putting home a 10th goal. That's right, ladies and gents, double figures for the first time in the history. They have got 2 double figures against Zimbabwe. Previous biggest win was, in fact, an 8-3 scoreline. They are now 10-1 up here. And, of course, that goal coming to Liam Hermanis, who's inching in on his 50th career indoor hockey national goal.
We are, of course, in the 4th quarter of this one, with Namibia leading. Zimbabwe is still hopeful, and they are still attacking. Namibia goes to the front. Taron, it is another one. It is another one. It is goal after goal. It is goal after goal. On Twitter, people would say it's giving Zimbabwe.
Oh, they'd be... it's not a retweet. Everyone is a new tweet. Sorry, not Twitter. A new X now.
Yeah, new X. Whoa, yeah.
And that was made by Bryn Cleek. What a brilliant little interception running. He does that little show to give as if he's going to pass the ball across. Plays it through the middle. And, yeah, it's been interesting.
Yes, Taron, for me, it's the creativity of these Namibian players. It's the common sense that they have to place each other in positions where you won't even think there's a player, and then you just hear the stick hits the ball. So it's another penalty again. And if we look at the previous game where we had the women, and the women beat Zimbabwe to 12, and now we have Namibia.
Yeah, I think if you look at the story of this game, the first and the third quarters, just a goal apiece. A goal for Namibia. Zimbabwe put it all out there, and both times you could just see the effort just wasn't something that they could continue for another quarter. That's fired wide on this occasion. They just weren't able to maintain that level, conceding 5 goals in the second quarter. They've conceded 4 here. And what they would want to do, they would love to turn, as they're getting cheered on by their ladies' side, they would love to turn in a consistent performance over the 4 quarters.
Definitely, Taron. I agree with you. The Zimbabweans are going to the front, but unfortunately, it was a block right there from the Namibian team right there. It is, of course, the Indo Africa Cup here at the Dome in Swakopmund, with Namibia leading. It's beautiful to see how these players are creating opportunities left, right, and center. And of course, Chimbetete, who is in goal for Zimbabwe there, has been trying to save the team some trouble. But unfortunately, Namibia comes to the playground all the time. And there we have Zimbabwe still hopeful, still getting the ball to the front. That is, of course, that is blocked again. And then we look at how the fitness and the focus of these Namibian players is 100%. You can tell that they are really, really, really hungry to go and play at the World Cup in Croatia. And Tyron, you mentioned a few teams that have already qualified, and we are waiting for the qualifiers of these games by Sunday. And you know, of course, the players are all hopeful. Every 4 nations that are here coming to compete in a fierceful competition, and they're all hopeful to make it to Croatia, but only 2 men's team make it and 2 women's team make it.
Yeah, of course, the one nice thing is that, of course, we'll know by Saturday already, because whoever makes the final has qualified. So we'll know by Saturday night who are the teams that have qualified. It'll make the final a little bit interesting. Of course, world ranking points still available, but even if you lose the final, you're still a winner because you're going to Croatia. And of course, all we want here as a African hockey family is we want whoever goes to go and represent the continent well, and hopefully get as many, all 4 of our teams into the top 8. And after that, who knows what. Of course, South Africa women, and both South Africa men and Namibia women making the top 8 in at the last World Cup. South Africa women getting to the semi-final. Such a great moment for African hockey, and we want to see more of that. And here's a chance for Zimbabwe, but the ball just bobbles away. Yeah, like I said, I just think Zimbabwe need to be able to put a 40-minute performance in. They've put 2 10-minute performances in. 2 balls were on the court there for a second.
Of course, Zimbabwe, with them not having enough international play, they are definitely lacking that experience to play on these international platforms. But of course, with them putting in effort and appearing more on international playgrounds, I think they will stand a better chance at winning, or at least giving some competition to their rivals. Of course, this is a definite fierceful competition between 4 nations that need to make their way to Croatia for the Indo World Cup. And of course, this is Namibia versus Zimbabwe. You can tell that these players are exhausted now. They've come to the end of the 4th quarter. We literally 1 minute until this quarter ends, and then we will have the players get some rest. And of course, Zimbabwe. Oh, that was a very
massive collision. Chance here, and the goal will be scored by Dakota Hansen. He's second. Simplest task to just knock that in. And it's now 12-1 to Namibia over Zimbabwe. Can't quite see the stadium clock, but they will stop it. Well, they quickly use the mop just to dry up that patch of sweat on the field. Of course, at the Indo Hockey World Cup, Mopka became a symbol of hope, became a symbol of freedom, and a symbol of grace, of superhero-ness, of course, for all volunteers. Oh, Tina Maredza shows some flames there. Wins the ball. Oh. Good sportsmanship shown. Of course, so critical that to our young people watching, that you realize it's competitive, but the humanity side is there. It happens to an end. It's Namibia who win this game by 12 goals to 1.
Yes, of course, we have come to the end of this quarter, or this match, which of course Namibia dominated, and of course Zimbabwe came last. And if you look at the women game, of course Namibia again had 12 and Zimbabwe 0, and you can see that the Namibians are adamant that we cannot give you the sea, we cannot give you the dunes and the accommodation, and then you still of course want to come and win in the land of the brave. Of course, stay with us. We will come back for more highlights and show you some of the actions that took place during the game. We will, of course, come back with highlights, and of course, we will come back with an interview with the player of the match.
We are all seeking connection to each other, to the world, to the spaces we exist in.
More sportsmanship right now from the lads. 1.85 for the national record. Here's another chance, and it is a goal from Vindo
Wijs, hij zegt, ja, is er aan neertrekken. Hij bal lijkt mij grond gevat. Ja, hij grond gevat. En dan zien we
running that mountain up. Okay, so we will be doing this. More advanced, slightly advanced.
So is jou trolley reg? Want
I love it. I love it. So then
kickstart our countdown at number 5 with this one.
Op Netwerk TV se Klets Kompas gesels ons nuus van 'n maandag tot donderdag. Ons kyk ook na die weer en meer. Stories wat jou raak en stories wat saak maak.
They've made a mistake in denying me bail, and they've made several other mistakes in many other cases.
The channels that teach us something new or reflect our expression. So it goes beyond switching to the right station. It's about choosing the experience that can adorn the present, dressing it with our tastes as we expand our preferences, because what we are actually connecting to is boundless, limitless human energy. And this is the spirit of NTV.
Of course, this was the Indo-Africa Cup, man. Namibia versus Zimbabwe. And of course, Namibia did show Zimbabwe some flames. And I feel sorry for my Zimbabwean friends. Of course, Ashton Berry, Diana Masters, they must be definitely disappointed. And we take a look at some of the highlights with Namibia here getting one of their first goals. And you can see right there, that was absolutely a deadly combination from those two Namibian players. Got the ball, got the aim, creativity, and it was a goal, definitely. You have, of course, there another goal again. You can see he found himself at the right position. Of course, that was Namibia's second goal right there. And as much as Zimbabwe kept on fighting, they kept on trying and trying, they just could not get to the goal. Of course, that is another one again from Namibia, where they got an opportunity, and then that was a brilliant save from Zimbabwe right there. And you can say that JP Bretts kept on attacking. You find Clickbren, Hutton Owen, Jacob Peter. These were the guys that terrorizing the Zimbabweans. You can see that we had a lot of players, a lot of beautiful, amazing goals. We have Nitling Nico showcasing some deadly combinations right there. Absolutely beautiful. You can tell that the Namibians were ready for this one. Absolute strike, pass, go to the front, attack, pass, attack, and then they get the goal. Opportunities were created. Chimbetete was in the goal for Zimbabwe. However, he could not, of course, save all these balls because the Namibians were just too ready for him. Of course, you can tell there that was definitely one good attack from Namibia. Look right there, you have Jacob Peter. Jacob Peter passes the ball to your Hermanus Liam. Another brilliant strike. Carried, places in the corner. In football, we call it 90 degrees. Of course, the beautiful highlights there. You get Zimbabwe attacking, trying their best. Zimbabwe scores their first goal right there. It brought back some hope. It brought some love. And of course, that was the first half with Namibia leading 6 and Zimbabwe 1. This is the Indo-Africa Cup. We continue to the second half. That is Namibia again on the attack. Brilliant goal. Look at the connection from Hansen Figan. That was a brilliant connection from both players right there. As you can see, another goal right there from Brett David. Took it easy, lifted up in the goal, behind the net. Brilliant connection from both players. Another goal again. Another connection, of course, from Hansen Dakota. From Hansen Dakota right there. Brilliant goal. get a corner penalty post. And you can see the players were very devastated right there because the terrorizing got too much. And you can see that the Namibians were out here to ensure that they keep leading and leading. And as I said to my friends, of course, they would be on X tweeting and saying, it's giving Zimbabwe. Definitely Zimbabwe came out here to give their all, but unfortunately, full game, and it was Namibia 12, Zimbabwe 1. Of course, stay with us. Those are the Zimbabwean players, of course, focusing to ensure that they can get back into this game. Next time, they, of course, need to speak. Of course, they need to, of course, focus and get back in form. They need to, of course, get new team strategies. They need to of course, get another team strategy to come back onto the game. And of course, that was Namibia versus Zimbabwe. Namibia 12, Zimbabwe 1. Stay with us. We will come back with an interview with the player of the match.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
With your last cash left for the month, you decide to get a chicken bucket for the family. So you hop in your car and pay for the petrol to get to the drive-thru. Then you pay for the chicken. Then you get stuck in traffic and your family's starving. They'll make you pay for that. Then some guy on his phone drives into you. Now you'll have to pay millions for that. Then you finally get home. But 20 minutes later, that precious bucket of chicken is now a bucket of bones. Or you can pay once from the comfort of your home, right on your phone with the MyGoTV app.
Who's ready for family movie night?
To enjoy series, movies, sport, and kid shows.
Seriously? Ooh, I love this.
To keep the whole family smiling for an entire month.
This is the fun part.
For unbeatable value for money entertainment, there's only one way to go. GoTV. Love it.
Of course, we are back, and that is, of course, the Zimbabweans that were beat by Namibia, and of course, the team, or rather the player of the match, of course, it would, of course, just be a Namibian player. Let's take a look at the interview with the player of this match.
Congratulations to our man of the match, Cody from Namibia. We received his award from the CEO of the MTC Dome, Mr. Farmas Engelbrecht. Thank you very much, Farmas. Cody, talking about the game, obviously it's important to get a win in the opening game. How happy are you with the team's performance?
I think we're happy with the result. In the end, I think we started a bit shaky, but towards the midway throughout the game, we found our structure, started moving the ball well. There was a couple of things we wanted to try, but I think we're comfortable with the way we ended. So yeah, it was a good game.
You don't get the opportunity to play Zimbabwe often. They've got a very tenacious style of play, a very physical kind of play. Was that something nice to play something of a different style here in Africa?
Absolutely. I think coming into the game, we knew it was going to be different. You're playing a team like South Africa. They come in, it's unorthodox, it's unexpected. But yeah, it was helpful. It was good for us to even just get a bit physical as well. So we enjoyed the challenge. It was lekker.
And then lastly, 2 goals for yourself. Or are you looking to get a few more to the name over the course of the tournament?
Definitely, always. It is about the team, but we love to score goals. So we'll try and get them when we can.
Well, congratulations
awesome.
to you and the team.
Thank you.
Of course, that is your player of the match, and brilliant performance by the Namibian team, world-class performance, tactical performance, and of course we do congratulate the Namibian teams, of course, for making this night full of competition, of course, and that was Namibia, the women's team that beat Zimbabwe to 12-0, and of course the men's team that beat, of course, again Zimbabwe to 12-1. And of course, stay with us. Tomorrow we come back with more action. And of course, this is proudly brought to you by Network TV, Sport Rep, and of course, 1up2. Do follow us on all our social media platforms, Sport Rep, for more updates. And thank you, and keep in touch with us.